Young kids with FASD have a difficult time with adaptive behavior, which refers to how able they are to meet everyday life demands in comparison to their age group. These difficulties with adaptive behavior persist into adolescence and into young adulthood.
The routine is very important because it kind of helps me remember the way things go. Like, I have no good memory, so I didn't have to wake up early this morning, but I still woke up at 6:30 like I do every other morning, because if I were to wake up really late, it would throw me off for the rest of the day, and I'd just be scattered everywhere. I wouldn't remember what order to do things in because time would have moved in faster or slower depending. So routine is very important to us, all of us. The other day I was sitting in the classroom and my mom asked me to look at the clock to see what time she could pick me up for an appointment, and it wasn't a digital clock, and so I was like, I don't know how to read that, so I'm just gonna have to call you back and look at my phone and see what time it is, because I can't read like a regular clock. Things that I struggle with would be time management, memory organization, and things like time passage as well.
First of all, looking at a regular old clock or watch with hands, that's going to be far beyond many of the children and adolescents that we work with. Even with a digital watch or clock, Kara can look at the watch and tell you what time it is, 3:45. But the second level is, does she know actually what that means? That where does 3:45 relate in the time of the day? How long till dinner time if it's 3:45 now?
The prefrontal cortex is damaged because of prenatal alcohol exposure. So thinking in abstract, conceptual, higher order terms continues to be an area of difficulty for teens who have FASD.
The idea of credit cards, loans, I don't think that Kara will ever be able to understand those. I hope I'm wrong, but she has her first bank account right now because she has a job that she's had for about a month, and I took her to the bank to open her first account, and it took about 2 hours, and she put money in the account and they gave her a debit card. And we talked about how important it was every time she used the debit card to write it down in the check register. We talked about the concept that just because you go into the grocery store right now and buy something with a debit card, it won't come out of this bank account until maybe tomorrow or the next day. So if you go online and look and you don't know what you spent today, you don't know how much money you've got. And she spent $150 in a week, and now there's nothing left in her account. She has 2 paychecks that she hasn't deposited yet. We're in the car together a lot, and I have told her, I will take you to the bank to deposit those checks, but you have to bring the checks with you, and when we're out, you have to tell me, Mom, I want to go to the bank, and I'll take you. Because I've got to slowly put the responsibility for these life skills onto her. And so we've been driving around for a couple of weeks now with checks that have not been deposited, so there's no money in her account.
The concept of money and the concept of credit, the concept of a debit card where you can't actually physically see the money but it's out there, or a checking account where your money exists but you might not have the skills necessary to understand when and how much money you can take out at any given point in time. All of those concepts are really abstract. And kids who have FASD, even when they hit young adulthood, have a difficult time understanding concepts that are that abstract.
It could very well be that I just don't understand the concept of how much I have and how to divide it amongst everything I want to do evenly, and not spend it all on one activity or something like that.
She's 19, and we've got to get this money thing down. Let's do our budget first. Is that a good idea? Every month, at the beginning of the month, when I get paid, I pull out enough cash to pay the household daily bills. All of that comes out of the bank in $10 bills. And every month, I get a different teller, and they always go, you want what? So I bring home this huge stack of $10 bills, and then we have envelopes. And each category of bill that we have has its own envelope. So we talk about how much do we spend on groceries every week, and we go to the grocery store usually once a week, usually on Sunday. Okay, so the first thing we need is groceries.
$400.
$400. Kara?
I count it.
No, let's let Kara count it. Okay, Kara, can you count out $400?
10, 20, 30, 90, 100.
She gets one.
Shh.
What Kara's mom has done for her is to make the process of bill paying and budgeting extremely concrete. She's continuing to provide that external support and external assistance and teaching her this is how each month we budget for our necessary expenses. And she's broken it down into very small steps that are super clear with $10 bill increments because she knows that her kids can handle the $10 bill increments. It's a wonderful strategy.
So Kara, how much money do we need for the car? How much money do I need for gas for the month?
Is that $225 or $225?
$225 for gas because I don't have a lot. Every month it's a new exercise for them because they don't remember from last month what it was. So then I have, especially Kara, Emma participates a little bit, but I have Kara count out all of the money for the groceries, for the dog food, for the dog kennel, just to start understanding that we can't spend all the money that we have. I don't know if it's really going to sink in for them, but I have to try. And it seemed like that was a way to make it as concrete as possible. They can see the money, they can feel the money, they can understand the concept of 10. And when we go to the grocery store, Kara has to take the envelope with the grocery money and she has to figure out how many $10 bills does she need to pull out. And then the change has to go back in that envelope.